Look, maybe it's a sign of my age, but AI bores me. And it's bored me ever since I first about it. And the reason it bores me is because it's just another piece of technology. That's all it is. And the thing with technology is, any technology can be good or bad. And we can see that. Nuclear power can be used to all kinds of benefits. It can also be used to murder people. And so it's a question of who's wielding the technology and for with what intentions. And from that perspective, I never trusted AI because I expected it to be used for all its potential and for all, for its amazing achievements. And it is amazing. Right now we're getting an email, and I don't even ask for that. I don't know why, but my cell phone gives me an immediate AI summary of the email. Very accurate. It's frightening how accurate it is, But the question is, who's going to be using it for what intention? And who's going to be using it are the people with power. The same people with power that have denied that cigarettes cause illness, the same people with power who deny that junk food is bad for your health, the same people with power who deny that fossil fuel use causes climate change, that's negative. AI is going to be used by the same people. I don't trust it. That's my concern about it. If it was wielded by people whose intentions were communal and collective and humane, I'd have no problem with it. He said, do not allow yourself to be confused in your aloneness by the something in you that wants to be released from it. This very wish, if you will calmly and deliberately use it as a tool, will have to expand your solitude into distant realms, he says. So that loneliness can be used as an incentive. First of all, to look deeper inside. Why do I need this particular person? What in me is so empty or so hungry or so desperate that I need? That's an important question. You can also use loneliness as a way of what's inside of me that wants to be expressed. Many creative artists, writers experience loneliness because creativity is a very lonely affair sometimes. So loneliness is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not sure I've answered your question.
Yeah.
Have I? Okay, that's good. Yeah. About this mask that she keeps in a jar by the door. All the lonely people. Those are the words. And sometimes it's necessary to wear masks. I mean, if you're getting tear gassed, you have to put on a mask. Or sometimes it might be necessary to put on a mask. The question is, are you choosing to put on the mask, or are you doing it compulsively? That's the question. Now, I'm going to ask a question just for the sake of responding to your question that I do with audiences. So I'm just going to ask you guys this. Have you ever had the experience of having a strong gut feeling about something and then you ignored it and then you were sorry afterwards? Just raise your hand. Okay, great. You just told me about your childhood. Because children have these needs, and I talk about this in my book, The Myth and Normal. They have a need for belonging, for attachment, for acceptance. Otherwise, they don't survive. It's that simple. So that's called attachment. So we have a need to attach. It's life essential. But we also have a need to be ourselves, which is to be in touch with our feelings and our gut feelings, because we evolved out in nature. Now, how long did any creature, and until, as I said in my talk today, if evolution is the face of our hour on the clock, until 5 minutes ago, we lived out in nature. How long does any creature in nature survive if they're not connected to their gut feelings? So these are not luxuries. So this is what I call the tension between authenticity, being ourselves, and attachment. And it's for the sake of attachments, for being accepted, that we keep on putting on these masks. The problem is that when a 2 or 3 year old is faced with this dilemma of, can I be myself But if I am, I'm not acceptable. So therefore I need to suppress myself, put on a mask. It's not a conscious choice. You're not aware of it. You're doing it automatically into your personality, and then you become inauthentic for the rest of your life until you start to figure out, which is what you've been working on, is how can I be myself. So, to make a long story short, masks may be put on. I mean, if I was a Jew in Nazi Germany, I might want to put on a mask, pretend to be somebody else. That's okay. But if the mask is put on unconsciously and you confuse it with yourself, now you're in deep trouble. And a lot of people are in that deep trouble. It shows up in all kinds of ways, in their health and their mental health, their physical health, their relationships and so on. And then the task becomes, I'm no longer a child. I no longer am necessarily dependent on others for their acceptance. Can I take the risk of being myself, even if some people won't like it? And that's the big dilemma for a lot of people. I hope I've answered your question. Yeah. There's different functions, that of discernment, and that of awareness, and that of memory and learning. But there's a mind structure that the Hindus, or the Bhagavad Gita calls ahamkara. And ahamkara means, aham means I, kara means maker. Ahamkara is the I maker, the I maker. And that's what we identify with. And those identifications drive our behaviors unconsciously. So when I was a physician, I was driven by as much as by my need to be important, which is insatiable, as it was by the other more obvious reasons. And to the extent that we identify with something, that an identity from the Latin word idem, facere, idem meaning the same, facere to make. When you identify something, you make yourself the same as that something. And as soon as you do that, you've got nationalism, chauvinism, and you've got professional academic arrogance. So for people to get past that, they have to really look at themselves and ask, what is this identification costing me? And what is it costing other people around me? It's a difficult one, because we tend to identify, and once we do, we lose ourselves.